Hey, what is up guys? GuitarRock here, welcome back to the Zenless Zone 0 video, and today's video we'll talk a little bit more about Burnice. So Burnice is coming soon in about like 1 to 2 days, and I am really excited for her banner. But truthfully speaking, I'm still thinking if I'm gonna pull her myself. So I hope this video is gonna give you guys my perspective of how I view her as a character in the game, right, in Zenless Zone 0, or as a member of Sons of Calydon, because I think Burnice is a pretty cool character, it's a pretty cool concept, and I think there's no other character like her yet. She's an off-field character that specializes in doing off-field damage. So let's talk a little bit more about her, right? So if you guys are not aware, you can basically test out Burnice in the main story, or you can even try her out right here in the Disorder Combat Course 1, which I am at. So you can basically use Burnice in the trial use. So let's talk a little bit more about Burnice in this case. Okay, I can't look at any of this stuff, which is fine, right? But regarding Burnice, right, where does she fit in? In case you guys are not aware already, Burnice is going to be a Fire Anomaly character. Alright, so Fire Anomaly right now, I believe Fire characters, we do already have Banbigger, Coleda, and then maybe Lucy and also Soldier 11. Now if you guys are building like a mono Fire team, she's not going to shine right there sadly. She shines more in a Disorder team. So what Disorder means, basically a team that applies multiple debuffs, because if you put her in the Fire team, she's only going to apply the Fire debuff. You want to apply more than one debuff, right? So therefore you're going to need a different element. So she fits really well in the other elements. So let's talk about Burnice and what she does in general. Her concept is very simple. I'm just going to make it as simple as I can and talk about her most important thing, which is her core skill, right? So when you enter into the battle, right? So let me scroll down and talk about the core skill. You're gonna have this state or this bar called the Nitro Fuel Cocktail state. Alright, so that is going to be this particular thing that you see on top. Can you guys see that? I'm gonna swap to Burnice. So when you enter combat, you can see this thing is full, right? So this is going to be your Nitro Fuel Cocktail. It's so hard to pronounce, but just bear with me a little bit. So what is this thing all about, right? If you look at her, basically her core passive Nitro Fuel Cocktail, alright? So when she enters the battle, she basically has 100 hit, right? So this is going to be the hit bar. So what this hit bar does is you want to make sure that this hit bar is constantly being topped up. You don't want this thing to go empty and go zero, because once it goes to zero, you're gonna need to at least reach 50 or half of it to enter this state again. Alright, that's going to be where the downside comes. Now pretty much all her attack is going to give the enemy this thing called the Scorch effect. So Scorch effect, you will basically notice by that fire burning effect. So let me show you guys what I'm talking about, right? So whatever skill that I do, regardless if I do this, boom. So now you can see the enemy actually has this fire looking thing in them, right? You can see like there's that fire thing on them. Both of them have that fire thing. It's in the middle of them, right? Oh. Okay. So let me swap to Burnice. Boom. Okay. So her special skill, this one is going to be where you're going to apply most of the things. Okay, so now I'm swapped for my ally. Notice that her... every time I hit with the allies, the enemy actually reduce my my bar, right? If you see right here, my bar has been reduced to like 75% now. Alright, it's quite hard to talk and show this at the same time, but you can see like while you swap her in and then you swap to the allies, your allies is hitting the enemy, the bar will slowly go down. So what is that, right? So what is that bar all about, right? So that hit bar, so you can see right here, right? When the enemy is in Scorch state, if other member hit the enemy, it basically triggers this afterburn effect. 8 hit to deal fire damage equal to 290% of Burnice's attack and accumulate fire anomaly build up. So ideally, that means fire damage is going to ideally how you want to build her with fire damage, and also you want to build her with anomaly proficiency as well on the slot for this drive, right? So this effect can trigger every 1.5 seconds, alright? So for every 10 anomaly proficiency, afterburn damage increased by 1%. Up to a max of 30%. So that's where Burnice is going to need the anomaly proficiency, similar to a lot of other characters. That's where she shines, right? Damage from the afterburn effect is considered as assist attack damage. So basically, you apply Scorch to the enemy, alright? And then you swap to the ally, alright? And then you make sure that this particular bar Don't go down to 0. Alright, don't go down to 0. Okay, right now it's going down to 0. You can see my bar is so low. So what I can do is I can apply this. Ooh, fill it up. Okay, so now it's max again, right? So now I can swap to my ally, to my main DPS character in this case. Boom, bam, bam. Slowly observe the bar up there. Alright, you can see this bar right here. Okay, so make sure you top it up with Burnice once in a while to basically make sure that it doesn't go down to 0. So that's ideally how her playstyle is. She's an off-field character, off-field DPS character where she applies this burning scorch state, swap to your main DPS, smash the enemies. If you see the bar going down, make sure your eyes are always focused on the bar, swap back to her and top it back up. So that's ideally how she works generally, right? So it's very simple, very straightforward. Now, the problem where it lies now, let's just talk about the advantage first, right? The advantage. She is a very flexible character, alright? Because of this, she can fit in any team. Because she's not a main DPS, she's going to be much more of an off-field DPS. Now, if you're looking for a main DPS, Jendo is going to be the one, right? And maybe that's going to be something that if you miss out on, Burnice is sadly not going to take that slot as a main DPS. She just doesn't provide damage in that sense. Now, everything else in her skill is pretty simple, straightforward, but where you want to focus on her is probably in her special attack and maybe in her ultimate as well. So her ultimate is apparently very, very cool. Basically, you can use her ultimate and then you can swap to the other allies, but that means you gotta invest in the ultimate, right? So I don't really like that this game you can only use one ultimate per team. So that's where, you know, like you are pouring points into her ultimate and she's gonna shine right there. So now that we get that out of the way, that's basically the gist of how you want to use her. Very simple, very straightforward. Oh, by the way, most of the time when you are using her, you don't want to use the 5-hit combo. These are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You don't want to use that. You just want to go hold the basic attack button and do this. Boom, and then swap out to your other allies. So that's generally the gist of it in most cases. Or you want to use her skill. Alright, her special attack. My bad. Special attack. That's going to be the important one. So let's talk about this particular one. So ideally, where does she fit, right? She's going to fit in another anomaly character or someone who shares the same faction as her. Ideally, one of these two. Alright, when you have one of these two characters, either anomaly or same faction, which is why Jendo is a very good one. She fits in the same team as Jendo, right? By that case, you can see right here, fire anomaly build up increased by 65%, which is a lot, alright? It's definitely a lot. And any squad member applies the burn effect to an enemy, the duration of the effect is extended by 3 seconds. So this is where expanding the burn duration is going to allow you to apply the disorder debuff. Now, for those of you who don't know what disorder is, basically disorder means if you apply 2 different anomaly debuffs. So fire anomaly debuff and maybe physical, that will basically combo into a disorder and it will basically show up in the damage as well. So let me see if I can show it to you guys. By the way, you can spray to flamethrower. Okay. Ow. Okay, I need to apply a shield. Okay, I'm going to disorder this guy. Okay, that was an assault.
Keep it burning. Okay.
Man, it's so hard to get it to come out, but basically you gotta apply 2 debuffs at the same time. So here, I managed to record one. As you can see, it's harder to make this more applicable in this team because I'm using Caesar and Jane, so both are physical and you tend to apply assault more. But you can see right here, so the burn is basically fire anomaly, and then the assault is basically usually physical, right? And then you can see once in a while if you can combo it together right here, boom. So you can see the disorder appears at the back right there, right? So disorder and assault. So disorder basically is a result of you having 2, in this case, 2 debuffs, alright? But you can see right there, my assault only did, what was that? My assault did about 167,000, but the disorder did about 245,000. So if you are running a disorder team, this is where Burnice actually shines, and she is very, very good right there. So this is where ideally she's going to be very, very good in that particular sense. If you're looking to improve your anomaly team even more, then Burnice is going to be a good addition. Now, a lot of people have asked me, GuitarRock, is it worth pulling for Burnice? And I think the idea here, or the mentality that you should go into this, is not about should you pull for Burnice, but it's about who you can choose, right? Ideally, if you are a free-to-play or low spender, who can you afford to get? Should you get Burnice or should you get Tsukishiro Yanagi? Now, for me personally, as a Yanagi fan, I feel like I'm leaning towards her a little bit more, right? If I can only pick one, if Hoyo said, okay, you have a selector between Burnice and Yanagi, I definitely am going to pick Yanagi because I think she's way cooler. Number one, a little bit biased right there, I get it, right? She's not out yet, but I'm already biased. But I feel like she's going to fit my team better, being an electric, or is it called lightning or electric in this game, right? Electric anomaly character. I feel like that's going to be, in most cases, benefit a lot of players' teams more, right? Right now, depending on who you have, if you guys have Grace, I get it, you might not need her as much, but as someone who don't have Grace in my particular roster, I feel like Yanagi is going to be a pretty good one, right? I can basically put Yanagi, NB, and maybe like Rina in that case, or maybe Seth, depending, right? Seth seems to be a really good, and then just, you know, put a mono electric team. So that could be something that players can consider doing as well. I definitely do think that this is something that a lot of players have to consider. Now, who do I think is going to be better in the long run? So that ideally depends. Some people might say Yanagi is going to be a DPS character similar to Jendo. There's a chance that she is going to get power crap way sooner than Burnice. Now, hard to say for sure, right? Burnice is an off-field DPS and she is quite unique, I guess. Grace is also some sort of like off-field DPS similar to Burnice. You can basically use them together in a way. But I wish Burnice were more flexible and can be used as a main DPS, but sadly she doesn't. She falls short compared to Jendo, definitely, right? I'm just gonna be straightforward, honest right there. If you guys have tested her enough, numerous times, the damage compared to Jendo is just not quite there, for sure, right? But still, for what she does, I think she's pretty good. There's a chance that she might last in the meta longer, but I feel like a lot of players have to ask themselves who you're looking for ideally right now, right? Are you looking to make a whole new team with like a electric disorder team, or do you want to improve your current anomaly team with your Jendo, Caesar and stuff? So right now, in most of my cases, for me, Jendo alongside with Seth and Caesar seems to be more than enough for me to tackle most of the end game. I'm pulling basically for end game, right? If I'm struggling there, definitely I have the need to pull, but if you're not struggling there, you know, you can definitely consider saving a little bit. But also Lucy is a very good character, very good candidate as well. So who knows, maybe I'll change my mind when she comes out. I'll just do a couple of pulls, try to get more Lucy copies and see how it goes. But I feel like if I pull for Burnice, then Yanagi is gonna feel a little bit more difficult because like I'm not a freaking whale, right? I'm a low spender in this game. I buy the monthly and that's pretty much it. So that's something that I think most players have to definitely take into consideration as well. Also, like depending on, you know, if you want to get both Yanagi and Lighter. I don't know, some of you guys maybe you like Lighter as well because he's the first male character in a while. That could be a factor for some of you guys. So make sure you guys think carefully, right? With that, I feel like Yanagi is going to be a differentiation or a different variant of Jendo. She's going to be as strong as Jendo, and she's going to be an electric variant of Jendo. So that's going to be something that excites me more compared to someone that is an off-field DPS. While she's fun, it would be nice to see her like just, you know, straight up destroy enemy with a flamethrower once in a while. She's definitely a fun character to play. I don't think you can go wrong with either, but you know, you gotta pick one. And you know, if you are in a privileged position where you can spend money and you can get both, alright, just get both, right? It's that simple. So yeah, that's my honest thoughts regarding Burnice White. You know, you got to look at her in perspective of the upcoming character, which is Tsukishiro Yanagi. If you're willing to, I believe she's going to be in the first half, so that's going to be something to consider. Yeah, pretty much that's going to be it. I'll be doing viewer pools as well, coming in about 2 days when she comes out. So with that being said, we'll see how it goes. Alright, so that's gonna be it for this particular video. Subscribe if you guys haven't already, give this video a like, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a nice day. Goodbye.